Hey everyone, it's me Hunter from CoolRidge Productions, and I'm coming back with another LEGO review, a build of mine which is a steam engine, just not a Thomas the Tank Engine character, or even custom-made character. This locomotive is based off of one I saw on Instagram. The story behind the real-life locomotive, I believe its name's Hutton, or Hudson, something like that. I should have it in front of me, but I don't. Basically, the story that caught my attention was that this locomotive was transported from one town to another by road. Not by truck or by lorry as known over there, but by rail section. It would just simply, land at rail section, it would move forward, they dig up the rails, put it forward, and just keep traveling down the road by individual track sections. And I thought that was a very unique, very different story, which inspired me to build this model based off that. A couple things that are different about this locomotive is what I use for the smoke box. It's not necessarily brick. I don't want to take it apart. For anyone who owns almost any Starfighter, or if you own one of the ARC 170s, Lego Star Wars ARC 170s, for example, there's that engine part. It's a cylinder, just as big as this, hollow with one kind of beam going through it. That is what I use. I know that's not the best explanation, but I don't want to take it off because it's the smoke box and everything's kind of fragile. This model was using parts left over from the Hogwarts Express sets I got. I have about 4 or 5 of them total, maybe even like 6, and I use them to start the base of my other engines. You think, oh, Hunter, that's a waste of money. Well, when you think about it, I'm building Donald, Douglas, James. They all have the black wheels. They have the same basic chassis structure. And it also gives me kind of a start on the cab design. I get the controls, I get the firebox. So for me, it made sense with where I work, and I got the coaches that go with it. Excuse me. So this is using leftover parts from that. What I like about this build as well is the gold accents. Obviously the whistle, but you got the handrails here, as well as all the buffers are actually using this gold dish piece. It was a unique idea I thought I'd try, and I really do like it. It kind of stands out. Almost gives it a royal or a celebratory feel to it. The dome's nice and small. I really like that idea. I wanted something smaller, not as tall as like Thomas's dome, but Percy's, if you see my Percy model, that one's a little short, a little small, which is accurate, but I wanted something kind of in between that. And this is what I came up with, just simply putting one kind of plate underneath the dish. My favorite part about this model, though, has got to be right here. It's hard to see on camera, but in person you can see it. I use these tubing and lightsaber hilt type pieces, or modified lightsaber hilt pieces, just as detailing, and it looks very nice in person. Hard to see because it's that dark metallic gray on black, so the camera doesn't really pick it up that well, and I do apologize, but it is fantastic. When you turn to the other side, it's the same thing. I do have the lamp. I decided with all my locomotives, whether they're Thomas related or just these custom versions, I like the white lamps, and I'm going to try to use the white lamps. They look nice. It's a fun little thing to just have all throughout my builds, but it really does look like a lamp. That's no lie. It just looks like a lamp, and I like it. When we go to look at the back real fast, because this is going to be a short video because it is a small engine, not much to talk about. We have a little coal bunker back here. I wanted something smaller that didn't go all the way across, something very simple. When I built this engine, I obviously built it using that idea of the locomotive I talked about at the beginning of the video, but I also like the idea of building a smaller version of Thomas, and that's kind of what I went with. A smaller version of Thomas that is probably about the size of Percy, but it's got that more square water tanks, and that's kind of what this engine. When I found online, that's it. I'm just gonna take it and build it as small as possible, and that's what I pretty much did. The wheels, like the other ones, my other builds, move. The difference between this model and the other one, oh, maybe I did put a weight in here. Never mind. I thought I didn't put a weight in this build, but it feels like I did. So that's pretty much it. There's not much else to talk about. Actually, the hardest part of this build was getting the funnel completed. Because of the part I used and attaching everything together and how I decided to do it, I actually needed, I can't even think about it right now. I just needed there's a part I was looking for, and I can't remember now because I used a different part to replace it to get the dish on top of the funnel. And for the longest time, I didn't have anything for it. And finally, I found something for it, so I'm able to share this video with, or this build with you all. I know that wasn't too accurate in that explanation, but that's the best way I could think of it right now. But oddly enough, the funnel was the hardest part of the build to finish, just due to my part restrictions. So I hope you enjoyed this video. This one feels a little bit more jumbled, a little bit more random. For me, that's kind of hard when I don't have like a character to base it off of and kind of explain this is how this, you know, correlates to where I got this idea from. But here's my little red locomotive. I actually call this engine Little Red. I think it fits very well, almost cliche, I'll admit. But I like the name, and it's stuck. So that's what you'll probably see it on here. Custom steam tank engine, you know, quotations, Little Red. But I really hope you enjoyed this video overall. I had a lot of fun making this model, as I do many of my models. Building the steam engines and taking a break from Star Wars is really what I needed to kind of stay into LEGO, because I was kind of starting to get, not necessarily bored, but just running out of ideas and inspiration. So I wasn't really messing with LEGO. But having a chance to build these steam locomotives just gives me a way to stay in touch with LEGO. And that way, as soon as something Star Wars strikes me and inspires me, I can without a doubt start building that. Also, it's going to help when my room gets clean due to some remodeling we're doing. But that's beside the point. Please like this video. Likes are the only way for me to really know if these videos are good or bad. And if you want to comment about the build, please follow me on Instagram. All that information will be in the description with all my videos, my email for my YouTube, as well as the name of my Instagram account. So once again, please like this video if you want to follow me on Instagram, to comment, and I will see you in my next video.